Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty nifty news going on over here when it comes to the Xbox Series X and S. Now, you guys may have seen on the channel, or just general news, that the PlayStation 3 might now be finally able to be ran on the PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 3 has always had some very weird architecture tech. It's slightly different than usual, like PC and usual what the PS4 and PS5 might be running right this second. But intriguingly, with the brand new Xbox Series X and S, there actually is a way now for them to maybe, like the Xbox consoles, be able to go run PlayStation 3 games before even the PlayStation 5 can, and as well also could quite literally run PlayStation games on the Xbox hardware. Now, there's a little bit of like a tinkering around, but it's a very, very nifty thing, especially if you only have an Xbox, want to play PlayStation games, or as well just like kind of seeing all this random gossip that can go and happen. So let's go talk about it. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below, and I appreciate you all so much for watching. Let's go dive on into the video itself. So as I mentioned, the PlayStation 3 has been slowly making its way to the PlayStation 5, confirmed and as well through like patents, legal talk, and all of that. But one big thing to go and note is that the PlayStation 3 is very hard to replicate. Not every single game will be moved over to the PlayStation 5, and it's not through like streaming, etc., but it should be a native core region, like basically version of the game. But Xbox, due to how it's actually been developed, is more of like a PC rather than a a console itself. It's very, very more similar to the PC version of itself. And this is why things get a little bit in the intriguing side, because right now the Xbox Series X and S could run PlayStation 3 games before the PlayStation 5 thanks to this brand new developer mode. And I think this is very, very nifty. So basically, thanks to a brand new important update to the developer mode, the Xbox Series X and the Series S consoles actually could be running PlayStation 3 games even before Sony implements proper PS3 backwards compatibility on the PlayStation 5. We've also been seeing a few other people just being reported on this stuff. I'm going to give you some more of a deeper dive. I just want to showcase, where I kind of found it from. Basically, there's been brand new highlights in the Xbox Series S, in particular, that they are still able to utilize emulation, despite changes being made in the past few months. So developer mode was now just recently updated and changed with Mesa, so OpenGL and Vulkan support, which in theory could make PlayStation 3 and even the Nintendo Switch emulation possible to be ran on the consoles themselves. As of right now, this new development has made it possible for the Nintendo 3DS emulator Cytera to run on the Xbox Series X and S relatively well for it being in an alpha stage. So anything can truly happen in the coming months. So let me do a little bit more of a breakdown besides just saying that it could happen and it will happen. So number one, when it comes to the Xbox, like I said, is a little bit more stemming towards a PC. Like it's more similar to that, it's closer to that. And what can you do right now on your PC? On your PC, you can run emulations. You can go and, if you guys don't know what an emulation is, think of it as a PC. If I want to go to, say, my Steam, and I want to go to my Steam profile over here, go to my PC, I can quite literally find the individualized files that are on my current PC right this second, and I can run a lot of really cool, nifty things on it. And now what I mean by that is I can quite literally find the individualized files for anything that's up on Steam as a whole. Like, I think that's really cool and really dope. So as we go through this, that's basically like me launching up any individualized game. It's like running mods. So if I want to go launch almost anything on my Steam, I have the access to the files themselves. So a good example is if I want to go to, say, I don't know, let's find virtual desktop. I should try to find like an actual game that I have installed. But when it comes to this one, we have you have the files. You have the actual files themselves on your PC. So if you want to go to this type of stuff, you could browse the local files onto the PC, and hopefully if it doesn't show up, I'll get the rough idea for. I'm not sure why my PC wouldn't show up in the middle of a video. Of course, that's always what happens to me. But anyway, the whole rough idea is if you want to run an emulator. Maybe I'll go on YouTube. Stupid PCs never working great. Basically, if you go and find these individualized things, you can run anything, like say the Switch, PlayStation, etc., and show it up here. Here, I think my PC, that took way too long to show. But basically, you can go through all your various things. You can find the individualized files and details. And as you go through this, you can go and adjust and launch and play pretty much anything you want on your PC, which I think is very, very nifty. So you go and download it, you run it, and you can basically go and utilize this, such as using Dolphin, and you could run this and change up various things. Like if you want to run GameCube games, and you could run on higher frames and make it more HD, add mods to it, change the source files, you can because it is a ROM. You legally own the files for it if you bought the game, so you can run anything you want. So because of it being available to be ran on PC, and with an Xbox being closer to a PC, you can run anything. You can run the Dolphin emulator, which as long as you own the game should be fine. So you could run Wii games, Wii U games, and Nintendo Switch games on these platforms. And sometimes you could even run like things like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. It was actually funny enough released a few days before official release, was able to be ran at 60 FPS and also run at 4K if your PC could allow it. They have the files for it, resolutions for it. So with that same exact technology, such as running Dolphin, as you guys can kind of see for the Nintendo Switch, you can run this on your Xbox. Using this brand new developer mode, you can essentially just install the easy emulator, which is very easy to install, and also legal. If you own the actual game itself, it is legal to run. And as you do that, you can play anything you want on, say, the Switch. Now, the big thing is that people are saying you could run the same thing for the PlayStation 3. Now, it's to give you guys a little bit of a slight, caveat on it, because I don't want to be fully clickbait and not be fully honest. The PS3 integration to the PS5 is core. It's through the actual game files running on the PlayStation 5 from the PlayStation 3. Emulation is slightly different. So basically, the big difference is emulation is using a program to essentially have like an operating system, say such as running the Switch, as we're seeing right now in the background, on your Xbox. So it's not a native one-to-one game. It's basically natively running in emulation software to then use that software to run a game. Very similar in theory, like it's the same end product. You could still play the game, you can adjust the game, and in theory, I'd probably say it's better. It's probably you have more options, you can mod stuff, you can make things HD, even if the games are from 1999, and of course as well you have a lot more options, and typically emulation is free. It's based on the idea that your ROM itself is something that you own legally, so then you just go and insert that to your Xbox and go from there. Now, the PlayStation one's different. That's basically just going PS3 to PS5, running the same native files. So in theory, it's more legitimate, and as well, it's offering a core experience that PlayStation and Sony wants you to run. Good example, even looking at this one too as well. If you would look, let me go back on this one, and how I've been saying you can make it even run better, which goes to the PlayStation in a second. Where if you look at this, the game itself, maybe still hard to see, but it's way better detailed. Looks way nicer in comparison to the GameCube itself. And you could also fine-tune a lot more, make things run in 4K, etc. Just intriguing to know. But at the end of the day, too, PlayStation can be run on the Xbox. So the PS3 emulator has been in the works. Like, we have seen successful emulations for the PS3. PS4, though, is a little harder. But we have even made videos on it discussing that it is possible. It has already happened. Like, people have already made PS4 emulations. And that also in tune would probably be pretty close to the PS5. PS5 is slightly different, but it's still similar hardware. So right now, the Switch could be ran and can be ran on the Xbox developer mode. So these Switch games, Wii U games, old school N64 games, etc. can be ran on Xbox using the developer mode. If you guys want to stare at the screen, this is probably a perfect example. Here is the old school GameCube run. This is why I'm saying an emulator might be better. Like, in theory, the games actually might run better on the Xbox, especially because PS3 is slightly dated at this moment. If you guys look at this Mario, this is like current, like old school GameCube Mario. And you go to this, emulator. Look at how much different, clearer, and everything else this can be. Now, you could run the same technology for the Switch and old school GameCube games, run games on 4K, 60 FPS on the Xbox, and same thing with the PS3. You will most likely, if you can get an emulator to work on your Xbox, which is out there, is legal, and is also basically there with the developer mode, you can then go and make your game run slightly better graphics, better resolution, better frame rate, running on your Xbox Series X console. So in theory, the PlayStation 3 games that could, in theory, come to the PS5, and not all of them are confirmed coming, they actually might run better and be smoother if emulation can be ran on the Xbox development kit. And like as I said right now, people have been testing this. Apparently it has been working, and at the same time, we still have to let the emulation cook a little bit longer. But at the same time, Xbox has it, in theory, and PlayStation still only has said that they would like to. Now, once again, there is a few of those little mixtures where source to source is different than source to emulator to be played in the emulator. But at the end of the day, emulators are very good. They run very well, and it might be even a better option. So it's very intriguing technology to go and see that this is now in theory possible, that Xbox can go play both Switch and PlayStation games already, although not necessarily officially licensed and sourced. Emulation is legal, so it's not the world's worst thing. I want to hear your thoughts and comments on all this down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. I appreciate you guys all very much for watching and existing and all of that, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your days.